this is number 7, and it has 7 plus 2x minus x squared equals 0. That's the one you're talking about? Okay. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to rearrange it. So it's negative x squared plus 2x plus 7 equals 0. Remember, your first step is to make sure that the number in front of x squared is positive 1. So I need to divide everything by negative 1. So then it becomes x squared minus 2x minus 7 equals 0. My next step is to take the constant, move it to the other side. So x squared minus 2x, leave a blank space, and I get equals 7. Now I have to take the b term, and I divide it by 2. So negative 2 divided by 2 squared. So this becomes negative 1 squared. So what I'm adding over here is a 1. But what I'm going to put in here is this. Now, you could also put it in here as the plus 1. But when you do the binomial, the sign in here is always the sign that was there. And then from there, we just put in the number that's there. And then combine those. And now I use the square root method. So I'm going to square root this side and this side. X minus 1 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 8. I need to break down the square root of 8. 4 times 2. 4 is a perfect square, 2 is not. So x minus 1 equals plus or minus 2 square root 2. And then I'm going to move the 1 over to isolate x. X is equal to 1 plus or minus 2 square root 2. So when you went to key this in WebAssign, you did 1 minus 2 radical 2, comma, 1 plus 2 radical 2. Good? Anybody else need anything worked out from the homework? No? All right, let me see if I can. What you need to do is get rid of the coefficient in front of x squared. So I'm going to divide everything by 2, including the 0. So this becomes x squared minus 4x plus 3 over 2 equals 0. The next thing I want to do is move the 3 over 2, move the constant. So x squared minus 4x, leave a blank space, equals negative 3 over 2. I now take the b term, divide it by 2. So negative 4 divided by 2 squared gives me negative 2 squared, which is 4. So I'm going to be adding a 4 here. And then here I always like to put it in as what it was when I divided by 2. So then this factored becomes x minus 2 squared. And then I got to add these two together. If I do 3 over 2 and I make 4 into a common denominator, it becomes 8 over 2, which is 5 over 2. And then now I can apply the square root method. Square root, x minus 2 is equal to plus or minus. And then I would put it like that, but I got to rationalize. So let me rationalize first. Multiply top and bottom by root 2. So square root 10 over 2. So x minus 2 plus or minus root 10 over 2. Move the 10. I move the 2. And then I get x equals 2 plus or minus root 10 over 2. So you can either leave it like that without a common denominator, but just know the 2's only under the 10. If you wanted to make that 2 get a common denominator, you could do this. Either way. Does that make sense? Let's see, this one. I don't know if I'll have time, but I can try. Divide everything by 3. X squared minus 8 over 3x plus 1 equals 0. Move the constant. X squared minus 8 over 3x equals negative 1. Take the b term, divide it by 2. Dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by a half. Simplify. This becomes negative 4 over 3. Square it, 16 over 9. That's what I'm adding here. But over here, I'm going to put the negative 4 over 3 squared. So when I factor it, I already know what the factor is. The negative 1, I'm going to make it 9 over 9. Add it to the 16, and then I can get 7. So 7 over 9. And then I apply the square root method. And then I'm left with x minus 4 over 3, square root of 7. I can do them separately, plus or minus, and then just move the 4/3. Final answer, x equals 4 over 3, plus or minus square root of 7 over 3. If you want to combine it, you can. Have a great weekend. Homework is quadratic formula.